I mean, one of those is a real line and one of those is a CGI line, and I almost can't tell the difference. We're so spoiled nowadays, it's so easy to take CGI for granted, and I don't think we can overlook how amazing and astonishing this CGI work is. Hey everybody, and thanks for clicking on this video and checking out my channel. So I just got out of seeing the newest Disney animated remake, The Lion King. Directed by Jon Favreau, and starring J.D. McCrary as young Simba, Donald Glover as adult Simba, Beyonce as Nala, Chiwetel Ejiofor as Scar, Seth Rogen as Pumbaa, Billy Eichner as Timon, John Oliver as Zazu, Florence Kazumba as Shenzi, John Kenny as Rafiki, and James Earl Jones returning as the voice of Mufasa, telling the classic Disney tale of the young lion Simba learning what it means to be a king and taking his rightful place as king after his father's reign. So I literally just got out of seeing this movie. I'm going to work through my thoughts on camera to see how I feel about this movie, because I admittedly am a little conflicted on this movie. First of all, let's talk about the amazing animation work on this movie. This cannot be overstated how astonishing and incredible this movie looks, and how amazing that this is all CGI. There are segments in this movie that literally look like a nature documentary you would see on National Geographic. The work that they have done on this movie to bring all of these animals to life, not just in the detail of them, but even how they move, and even in the sound design of how the animals sound, how they captured the wildlife in this movie, is completely incredible. It looks fantastic on screen. See this in the biggest screen that you can, because these visuals, from the landmarks, to the animals, to the scenery, to the environment, just look insanely good. But I'm conflicted on this movie because, for me, these Disney live-action remakes have, for the most part, been copy and paste of the same movie from the animated films, just doing nothing better. And so, for a lot of these animated live-action remakes, I don't really see the point of why they exist besides the fact to make money. And that's been a really big gripe for me. Lion King commits this crime the most. This movie is The Lion King. If you like The Lion King, you're going to like this movie. I liked this movie because I liked The Lion King. Bob Iger might as well have just gone into the Disney vault, pull out the original animated Lion King script, blow the dust off, and hand it to Jon Favreau. This movie is the exact same movie. The best way I can describe this movie is, it's like taking a car that you already own, putting a fresh coat of paint on it. It's still the exact same car that you own, it's just looking a little bit more fresher, and it's got a fresh new look to it. That is how I would describe The Lion King 2019. Besides doing a couple of additional scenes and extending a couple scenes that are already in the original animated movie, this movie doesn't really do all that much new with the story. Which, if any Disney remake of their animated films was going to do, I thought it would be The Lion King, because The Lion King is such a great movie. It's universally loved by all the world. It's almost seen as a perfect movie by many people, so you don't want to touch it. And in that kind of sense, they were kind of in a no-win scenario. Because if you change The Lion King up even the slightest bit, you have the risk of people complaining and being like, that's not The Lion King. But for people like me who are like, these remakes are being made for no reason, they don't do anything different, that is The Lion King. If you have watched The Lion King, you've seen this movie. It's just done with a different style than in the original animated film. And in some ways, that's where this movie has its disadvantages, because it's so close to the original movie. It has the exact same dialogue in many scenes. It has the exact same setups. It has the exact same shots. The structure of this movie is the exact same as the animated film. And where that really hurts the movie is these actors have to deliver the exact same dialogue and lines that are in the animated film, and because they're the exact same, I couldn't help but compare them to the original movie. And I'm sorry, the line delivery in this movie, for a lot of it, was not as good as the line delivery in the original animated film. And like I said, this is the exact same movie, so if you haven't seen the exact same movie, then I'm going to spoil something for you. But if you have seen the movie, then this isn't a spoiler because you've seen it. The biggest moment where I saw this was in Mufasa's death. Mufasa's death in this movie plays out almost the exact same way, but it has the disadvantage, and it misses, for me, the emotion of the scene, because Scar's line delivery of "Long live the king" is not as good as Jeremy Irons in the original animated film. The way that Jeremy Irons delivers that line in the original film is much more menacing, is much more kind of disturbing and horrifying than the way that it is delivered by Chiwetel Ejiofor in this film. And that's really not really discredited to the actor who's doing the voice work. It's a no-win scenario for him too, because you have the exact same dialogue being said by Jeremy Irons in the original that we all grew up with, that's in our heads, and he has to do that, but he also can't copy it, so he has to do his own thing with it. But the way that he did it his own way is not as good as Jeremy Irons, and it doesn't bring the same kind of oomph that Jeremy Irons brought in the animated film. And so even the camera shots, like in the original with Mufasa's death, when they have the close-up on his eyes and the way that they zoom in, it really brings the emotion and makes it more of an impact. They don't really have the advantage of doing that in this movie, so it doesn't really hit the same way that the animated film hit for me. And that also goes with the live-action lions. These live-action lions look fantastic. They look so good. They look so lifelike. But because they look so lifelike, they're not able to be as animated and have the emotion shown through the face as well as in the animated film. And it's weird because I want to judge this as its own movie, but it's so a copy and paste of the animated film that it's hard not to compare these scenes. They're set up and said the exact same way as the animated film, but for a lot of it, it's not done any better. But I don't want to seem like I'm really being negative on this movie, because like I said, I like The Lion King, so I liked this movie. It's just really weird for me because the biggest problem for these live action remakes for me have been that they don't do anything new and that they are just a copy and paste. And this movie commits that crime the most out of all of them. So it's really weird giving this one a pass when I didn't give all those other ones a pass. But that's really just me. If you love The Lion King, and you don't care, you want to see the exact same movie again. If you want to pay to see the exact same movie, just in a different, glossier style, which I totally recommend. If you love The Lion King, you should go see this movie. If you don't mind seeing the exact same movie again, this movie has what those other live-action remakes don't have, which is a different style that's really worth seeing, because this animation and this CGI work is phenomenal. It's flawless from beginning to end. It's flawless. And also the songs, they sound, to me, just as good as in the original. I really like what they did with Simba's Can't Wait to Be King number. They did it in a way that made it feel like it fit in the simulated environment that they have created, while also staying true to what that number meant for the original animated film. And like I said, while the dialogue and the script is the exact same as the original animated film, where that kind of breaks is for Seth Rogen and Billy Eichner as Timon and Pumbaa. These guys totally steal the show because they are able to kind of improvise and get away from the script more than the other actors are. They do get pulled back to the script and they kind of get restricted by the dialogue as well, but they're able to riff more than the others and improvise and add more comedic jokes. That really worked, and that really made them the standout in this movie. They also did a couple changes with the hyenas. They had these two hyenas that had kind of a dynamic together. They had this kind of running gag that I thought was really funny. I thought it really worked. And so there are a couple minor changes in this movie. There's a couple extensions and additions added to scenes. But for the most part, 95% of this movie is the exact same movie from the animated film. And I think what it really comes down to is you kind of have to decide for yourself whether you want to see that. Do you want to pay to see the exact same movie again, just with a glossier look? Or do you want to wait until it comes out, catch it on Netflix, and watch the exact same movie again from the comfort of your home and just see it in a different way? If you love The Lion King, I don't think you're going to have any problem watching the exact same movie again. And I also thought that I was going to be completely fine with seeing the exact same movie again. But while I was sitting there, I was kind of going, yeah, I know exactly there's really no surprises in this story. I know exactly how this is going to play out. I know exactly what line is going to be said next. Like, it's the exact same movie, and that's really where I think the negative might be for a couple of people. But like I said, it is The Lion King, and I like The Lion King, so automatically I kind of like this movie. And it was really great to hear Mufasa played by James Earl Jones again. You can tell his voice is getting older. It sounds a little different than in the original animated film, but it still sounded really great, and it was really great to hear again, and I thought his line delivery was being close to just as good as the original. Also, John Oliver as Zazu was another standout for me. I think that John Oliver was the perfect person to take this role from Rowan Atkinson. He made it his own enough, but it also felt like the same character, so I thought that was really great. I thought he did a great job. But in the end, guys, while I did like this remake of The Lion King, it does almost feel like a one-time thing for me. Like, okay, I've seen it. It was really cool. It was a great experiment. But I don't know if I'd ever choose it over the animated film. I actually think it would be a good companion with the animated film, though. If you showed someone The Lion King for the first time in the animated form, and then showed them this movie, it would be really cool to see the different styles of the two films. So yeah, Lion King 2019 is not a bad movie, because The Lion King, the animated film, is not a bad movie. If you like the animated film, you're gonna like this film. You just have to ask yourself if you're okay seeing the exact same movie again. And if you love The Lion King, I totally recommend it. I think the CGI work and the style and look of this movie is so impressive that it's worth seeing the exact same movie again just to get that new style and witness this truly astonishing achievement in CGI creation. And anyway, guys, those are my thoughts and opinions on the new remake of The Lion King. It's not really live action, so I won't call it the live action remake Lion King. Just the remake of The Lion King. But what did you think of the remake of The Lion King? Comment down below, let me know. I want to hear all your thoughts and opinions about this movie. Were you okay seeing the exact same movie again? Or did it make you feel like you wasted your money? For me, in the end, I'm glad I saw it. I thought it looked really great on the big screen, even if it was the exact same story, and there wasn't really any surprises in it. And I thought it was a really cool experiment. As always, guys, thanks so much for clicking on this video and checking out my channel. Once again, my name's Zachary Milne. Thanks for talking movies with me, and hope you have yourself a great day. People are going to think I hated this movie. I didn't hate this movie. I liked it. Don't accuse me in the comments. It's not true.